I see Geneva.
Friends you have there.
They're in pain.
Into the hypothetical future you see.
Will they die?
Easy to see the hypothetical is. Always made up.
I've got to go to them. I've got to destroy the engineers and the RPs.
You want the impossible. Engineers and RPs have too much aggression and power, based upon bottled frustration from their social dysfunction. I fear if you leave now, help your friends you could, but you would destroy all for which they have fought and suffered.
Is the socially awkward side stronger?
No. Quicker, clumsier, less seductive, but relentless.
Well, what can we do?
It's a hypothetical situation. You don't have to do anything. Just stop thinking about it.
Oh.
Now remember, when you hear engineers clapping in unison, continue with your introduction. Ready, engineers? Business people, any STEM majors. Ready?
Home! This is Geneva. This is the West Reading Room. And you're all here. Stop it! Read the room, people. Man. What was I talking about?
Singing, you moron.
Wonderful girl. Either I'm going to kill her or I'm beginning to like her. Yes, I was talking about singing. And when I talk about singing, I don't mean psalms. I talk about vibrato. Second only to Gusher's candy, vibrato is the thing I want most to happen inside my mouth. I think there's a vibrato level of achievement in all areas of life. In basketball, reaching vibrato means you can slam dunk. In baseball, vibrato means drug-free home runs. In my dealings with Dr. Nykirk, vibrato means passing him in the hallway without me saying something stupid. Not because I'm stupid, but because I'm afraid of people who are terrifying. I want vibrato. I don't want fake vibrato. The kind that old battle-hardened church ladies haul out in front of small congregations all over the nation. I was walking in the meadow when I heard a lonesome tune. 'Twas a morning, dove a morning for the filthy soul in you. And the anthem of that dove's a cooing call to me on high. And my bosom wrenched in two. When I ask you singer types, you Captain James T. Kikasolas, you Joel A. Wards, how do I make my voice do the vibrato thing? You say to me, oh, you just sing from your stomach, Dan. Yeah, I say, well, what does that mean? Like this, you say, then you sing with vibrato, and I hear your voice does the wavy thing beautifully. But that doesn't tell me how on earth beauty came shivering up out of your paunch. Having been failed by my friends, I sought the answer in film. The FFF, Feature Films for Families, produces the Christian equivalent of movies. In the same way that candy cigarettes and tattoos of Bible verses are the Christian equivalent of rebellion. The Triple F movie that took another stab at explaining vibrato to me was Rigoletto. Do you know it? It's about this stuck-up girl who learns how to sing by hanging out with an affluent man who has a melted face. I was enraged when I started watching and discovered that old Melty Face was just about as helpful as Kix and Ward. Arrogant secret keepers. Bonnie, the snobby girl, tries to sing something and she stinks. Melty runs over, he grabs her head, tips it up so the pipes align all the way down to her guts, and she barks out vibrato like a champ. So, Melty Face, that's how you sing from your stomach? Okay, Mindy, let's reenact.
Yep.
You are rich and melty-faced. I am a snobby girl. Ready?
Okay.
I was singing in the meadow when I heard a mournful tune.
Oh, you stink.
Yes, I stink.
Again.
I was walking through the meadow when I heard a mournful tune.
You still stink.
Thank you, Melty Face. You may go.
But you still stink.
Get out of here! I was very angry. I wanted to do something rebellious. The problem is I'd already got my biblical tramp stamp, and I gag whenever I smoke candy cigarettes. Plus, I couldn't hunt down and destroy Hayden Christensen's career because he'd already done that on his own. In desperation, I went to find someone who is neither a friend, nor entertaining, nor a self-igniting straw boy. I needed someone who could tell me about my chances of ever reaching vibrato, someone clear-cut and mean and humorless and a fan of Americana home decor. So I found myself a legalist. They're not hard to find. Look for the person at fantastically fun events who doesn't appear to be having fun. Yeah, come down off your self-righteous high horse, why don't you? Join us. Legalists always look like they're making lists. If I turned a legalist into food, they would taste like a passive-aggressive church organist. In the following dramatization, I'll call the legalist I found Lars the legalist to protect him. And I'll need Lars to be played by a woman to further protect him. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mindy Williams. Now you're going to be playing a legalist.
Yes.
You need to stop smiling.
Oh, okay.
Less happy, please.
Okay.
Try
Like
to
this?
be unhappy. No, that's just sad.
Page.
Awkward.
I thought you said not happy.
Yeah, but not like that.
Like what then?
It's sad, but not a frowny face. It's different. Just try again, please. Is that you, Shirley Temple? Are you a cartoon character?
No.
Do you know how to emote with your face?
Emote your mom's face.
What?
Nothing.
Look, just close your eyes. I'll paint you a picture. Go ahead, close them. Okay. Try to imagine you live on a planet where everyone is an idiot, except you. And there's this magical book that has all the answers to the great questions in the universe, but you're the only one smart enough to read it. All idiots try, but they mix up the words. They pull everything out of context. And worse than that, they try to convince others that they're right, which indirectly declares that you're wrong. The only clear-thinking ones in this entire universe are you and God, and day in and day out, you have to live with the world burning all around you because the carriers of the fire are genetically out-and-out morons. What face is that?
I'm sad. I'd rather be a moron than live in that universe.
Look, just stop. Close your eyes again. We're gonna get this. Close them. Okay, good. Imagine you work at a small college. Imagine you are the theater department at this college. Imagine that you spend all your time telling students how to act, and they only listen to you because they assume you can act too. And imagine these students are watching you at some very public event in which you are asked by an agreeable host, so agreeable that he would be your husband in your wildest dreams. Yes, this host asks you to do a simple exercise of face acting, and you end up having the emotional face range of a metal-faced cyborg. That's it! All right, I think we have it. You ready? Yeah. Okay, here we go. I found Lars in the brig and asked him about vibrato. I asked him if vibrato can be developed if a person doesn't have it yet.
Let's see what you can do. Nope, honey. Not everyone in the body can have a mouth, can be a mouth. You are a foot. Feet are good. Without feet, who would wear the shoes?
Don't call me honey, Lars. We spent the next 10 minutes of our conversation listening to Lars try to figure out whether sunglasses straps are reformed or not, or if they're just too sexy. It was a conversation he would have had with himself, so I let him talk while I picked up the pieces of my fragile self-esteem. I was eventually okay, but I wanted to leave, though since I'm polite to a fault, I couldn't just go. But I also couldn't listen to Lars put any more loops in the chain linking glasses straps to fornication. So I just opened my mouth and I said, "I can't wait for Christmas!" I guess I wanted the conversation to head towards something universally cheerful in our part of the world. It didn't work. Because when I said, "I can't wait for Christmas," Lars said,
"So you like materialism?"
No, it's always like this with Lars. I should have known. In 10 seconds, we were talking about Santa Claus, that jolly old face on the devil's dime.
"Oh, did your parents teach you that Santa Claus is real?"
It was harmless, and yes.
"Do you know what a syllogism is?"
All men are mortal. Socrates is a man, therefore Socrates is mortal.
"But who invented it?"
Plato?
"Sweetie, Plato is a salty toy. Or a heretic. Aristotle invented the syllogism."
Lars went on to tell me the syllogism that legalists use to execute jolly old Saint Satan Nick.
"All children are gullible. Gullible means stupid. All children are children, therefore all children are stupid."
The logic was basically this. If you teach your children that Santa Claus is real, then at 9 years old, when they catch mommy making out with Santa Claus on the futon, and they tell the pastor later that week that jolly old Saint Nick is an adulterer and so is mommy, then it's a slippery slope to the conclusion that all mommies are unfaithful, and Santa flies around bearing gifts only as an excuse that allows him into happy homes to bust up marriages with a sleigh full of arctically repressed lust. Eventually, children who are children and stupid will crawl up the chain links of logic all the way to the throne of God and say, "Dear God, is Santa Claus really a home wrecker?" And God will say,
"No, that was your dad, idiot."
"So my mommy wasn't having an affair? I don't know what to believe anymore."
"How about what I just told you?"
"I don't believe in you anymore. I believe in chaos."
"Where did you get that brain of yours to make your tongue say chaos? I made you, me, boom, day 6, mankind, rest."
I said to Lars, "But Lars, kids believe their teddy bears are real. They think Buzz Lightyear's alive. And they think that clouds have emotions and that God wants cats in heaven. What do we do, get rid of all toys and clouds and eliminate cats?" But I could tell Lars wasn't tracking. I'd lost him at Buzz Lightyear.
"Buzz."
"What's wrong with Buzz?"
"Oh, nothing. Just that he is a fictitious representation of animated nature, and therefore a lie, and therefore a stumbling block on top of the slipperiest slope of all. No big deal."
"Buzz?"
"Buzz and his kind, teddy bears included. Children must be taught what is real and what is not real. You have got to start small. Note that I do not use contractions. Neither does God. Contractions, dirty canoodling words. Teach children clear-cut, clean reality. Otherwise, they will grow up not knowing the difference between illusion and reality. They will think Buzz Lightyear is real and God is not."
Then Lars' face turned grave, secretive, conspiratorial.
"I have invented a helmet."
"Oh?"
"I dabble in inventions. It is a helmet big enough to fit over an entire child's body. Through its view screen and dual speakers, it only allows reality inside, and it filters out what is not reality. If you put Buzz Lightyear in front of the helmet, the child would only see your hand, and not the molded lump of colorful Satanism."
"What if you stood in front of the helmet wearing that shirt? Star Wars isn't real. Would the kids see you topless?"
"Do not say that word."
Sorry, would the kids see your torso's shame? While I was getting to Lars, he looked at the bald patch on his left wrist, where a watch had been before he recognized the idolatry of believing in time. But I wouldn't let him go now that I had him. So Star Wars is okay, but Buzz isn't. What about Gandalf? Would the kids see Gandalf through the helmet?
Gandalf is a type of Christ. Of course he would see him.
A type of Christ who uses magic. You know who else uses magic, don't you?
Do not.
Harry Potter! And you do know that plenty of Christians read Harry Potter. Plenty of Christians watch him on the big screen and love him and do not have hell as their inheritance. Lars was staring at me at this point, muttering something. I tried to hear what it was. It sounded like Bible verses. It was strange. He never broke eye contact, and I started to feel a little wobbly, like I was way high up in some sort of ridiculous, nerdy game, perched on an untrustworthy branch or something, about to fall, and all the while the eyes of Lars never left me. Just then, one of the cooks in the brig had a flare-up of fire on the stove, catching Lars' attention, breaking his eye contact with mine. He didn't mutter anymore, but he leaned in and said,
First, and understand this, Dan, because it's very important. Not all Christians are good. Some of them go bad. A few years back, there was one Christian who went as bad as you can go. And her name is J. Her name is J.
Maybe if you wrote it down?
I cannot spell it. To write the name is to give it power, and that is a form of worship.
So if you wrote the word bacon on a piece of paper, you'd be worshiping bacon?
All children are gullible. Gullible means stupid. All children are children. Therefore, all children are stupid. All right. Her name is J.K. Rowling.
Rowling?
It was dark times, Dan. Dark times. J.K. started to gather some followers. She brought them over to the dark side. Anyone who stood up to her ended up reading for hours and hours and hours. Your parents did not fight against her. I can tell. Neither did you. No one could avoid her stories once she decided to write them. Nobody! Not one! Except me.
Lars then climbed onto the floor and planked for about 10 seconds.
I did not read them, but I was tempted.
You? You were tempted to read Harry Potter?
Yes. This is not an ordinary... This is not an ordinary cut on my forehead. A mark like this only comes from slipping on kerosene when you're trying to burn a book.
I'm sorry.
I was touched by the curse of prose fiction.
Well, at least she's done with the series. I mean, no more Harry Potters to bother you, though.
Well, some say she has stopped. Codswallop, in my opinion. No, I believe she is still out there, too tired to write anything of significance, but writing anyway. One thing is certain, something about me stumped her that night, that I almost read the Sorcerer's Stone, but did not. That is why I am famous in my small group, Dan. That is why everybody there knows my name. I am the boy who was in all points tempted like as you were, yet without sin. The boy who resisted so hard I fell down on kerosene and smashed my face on the earth, and as a punishment that has left me scarred and deformed. But I assure you, my resolve has never been stronger.
His eyes were glassy. He was feeling very spiritual. Lars started humming something in his throat, a song. It wasn't unpleasant at all. Actually, I listened carefully and I liked it. I loved it. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because I heard vibrato. That, I said, maybe I can't do that, but how do you make that sound?
What sound?
With your throat, the wavy thing, vibrato.
Vibrato?
Lars rolled the R. Vibrato, yes!
It's easy.
Well, how do you do it?
I just sing from my stomach.
Shut up, Lars.
I will pray for you.
Yeah, pray for your mom.
I do. Every day. You should too, in case something worse happens to you.
Like what?
Dan, do you know where you are going to go when you die?
Lars, I'm a Christian.
So is she who must not be named.
Who's that, your mom?
Bless you.
Lars the legalist, everybody! I left Lars that day thinking about his t-shirt, about hypocrisy. I was thinking about the things that make me furious, like dewy flowers that soak through your pants when you walk past them, and kitten whiskers rubbing all over everything, and bright copper kettles that scream and burn you, and swelteringly warm woolen mittens that make your hands feel like greasy flippers. And all this naturally led me to thinking about George Lucas. Since I couldn't get revenge on Lars because of how well he knows what the Bible says about vengeance, and killing him would only make him more powerful than I could possibly imagine, I decided to get revenge on George by thinking hateful thoughts about him. I thought hatefully while I played Lego Star Wars, the video game, for 10 hours straight, spending the entire time killing Jar Jar Binks with a lightsaber. Watching with terrible glee as his body fell to pieces, and since the game does not provide a Jar Jar murder scream, I had to scream for him, and I did for 10 hours straight. Until something came out of my subconscious, causing me to turn off the game immediately. I had just figured out why George Lucas came up with Star Wars Episodes 1, 2, and 3. I'd solved the great puzzle. The Phantom Menace, the Attack of the Clones, the Revenge of the Sith. They were his only means of redemption. You see, it happens sometimes that creative types run out of creative things to say, and they know it. So they either say the same things over and over again, or they get out of the game and make room for others to play. This very thing happened to George after the Return of the Jedi. 99% of the good in him departed, and he was left on Skywalker Ranch completely alone, marching down the dark path of creative emptiness that would forever dominate his destiny. Consuming him it was, as it did Obi-Wan's apprentice. You see, George knew that in order to go to heaven when he died, he had to make up for his ruthless merchandising empire that would bleed Americans dry for many generations to come. And he knew that he couldn't get to heaven by creative efforts alone, because his brain was a creative dead zone. But if he could find a way to... I give you Episodes 1, 2, and 3! The Phantom Menace! Are you an angel?
You're a funny little boy. Emphasis on little boy.
I'm a person, and my name is Anakin. Here, I made this for you. I carved it out of a parsnip pit, so you can remember me.
Annie, a lot of stupid stuff is going to happen when we reach the capital, but my caring for you will always remain.
I care for you too.
Oh.
But then in comes the wet nap to sanitize the movie's dirty bottom. All hail Darth Maul. Now, Obi-Wan flies over Darth Maul's head, and for unknown reasons, Darth Maul does not cut him in half in the air. And then Obi-Wan lands behind Darth Maul, and Maul, who has tons of time to turn around, turns around and faces Obi-Wan, and for some reason he does not cut him in half, and then Obi-Wan cuts him in half.
Wait, what?
I know. Attack of the Clones! It's all Obi-Wan's fault. He's jealous. He's holding me back.
Hold me, like you did by the Lake of Naboo, so long ago when there was nothing but our love.
Yuck.
The
Revenge of the Sith! My powers have doubled!
Anakin, all I want is your love.
Love won't save you, Padme. Only my new doubled powers can do that.
You killed younglings!
They were jealous. They were holding me back.
For reasons no one can explain, they're losing me.
No! If then Van Gogh ran through all the art museums in Paris, urinating on his own paintings. Wouldn't his greatest act of kindness be to just stop? That's exactly what George Lucas did. So he made Star Wars, right? And it was awesome. Then he couldn't make anything else that was good, so he started killing Star Wars by colossal, gut-wrenching, shameful, sophomoric idiocy. A Van Gogh urine spree, if you will. And when his lovely space opera was lying on the floor, just about dead, saying, "Father, please!" Luke, poor Luke, Lucas, with the 1% of good left in him, turned to the light and picked up the whole thing, the wonderful along with the odious mess he'd made of it, and he hurled it all down the $4 billion pipeline right into J.J. Abrams' lap via Walt Disney, and by so doing, he redeemed himself, and now I know the truth. Vader is Lucas. Lucas is Vader. Both men redeemed after unspeakable acts of cruelty, redeemed by one act of great goodness. Vader upchucking the Emperor. Lucas wrenching his own hands from the throat of his precious galaxy. It's genius! After hearing the news of the sale, I rushed out to Skywalker Ranch and held the fading George Lucas in my arms.
Dan, help me take this mask off.
As an aside, you should know that George Lucas wears his Vader costume constantly at Skywalker Ranch. I helped him take his helmet off, and he looked at me with his own eyes. And I couldn't help but say, "George, you've given up Star Wars. You do know the world will never, ever, ever let you make another movie."
Nothing can stop that now. Now go, Dan. Leave me.
No, you're coming with me. I won't leave you here. I've got to save you.
I already have saved myself, Dan. I was right. I was right about me. Tell my sister. I had to destroy the franchise in order to make myself a hero. By eliminating my intentionally poisonous influence over it, or if I'd forever be damned for my merchandising empire. I figured it'd be easier on my sister if I just went through with the deal and then told her later.
At that, George Lucas died, but not before his sister burst up out of the cellar, pushed me out of the way, grabbed George Lucas and said, "Why,